If you've been hanging, you know the S3 Pro has been my favorite head strap for the Quest 3 with its combo of a fan, the digital screen that tells you what's going on with it, and a 10K battery pack that not only maintains the battery level in it, but can actually help charge up your Quest while you're using it, which we've learned is a pretty rare trait. Well, now the next ones are starting to come out, and I actually went and bought some B100s because I wanted to test out how many do you need if you wanted unlimited game time? How is it once you can actually hot swap these now? Because for now I only had the one. So let's check them out. We got 2 more batteries, so now we are up to a lot. One of them Nat ripped into and opened already. How could she? But one is still completely fresh. Let's look at the brand new one. Has not been messed with. Little tiny cable, little tiny booklet, not so tiny battery. Fresh out of the box, we got half charged. And then of course the other one, since it was already out of the box, we went ahead and juiced it up. Fully charged. I gotta say, it feels good to be able to hot swap batteries. Again, it's been a minute since I've had this strap and only one battery. We got it cranked up now 100%. We do have a Quest 3 that was already fully charged. So now we've got basically probably 5 hours, 5 to 6 hours, depending on what games you're playing and how you're playing them, brightness settings, all that, with just that. In testing before, what we found about these battery packs was if you're charging them on a fast charger, you're looking at about 3 full hours through the USB port in the top. What we don't have yet, but is coming soon, that new dock that you can stack 3 of these in, fast charges these things, supposedly takes a lot less time. We don't know the total time yet because we don't have it to check, but we know that Bobo is claiming 80% charge in 1 hour with that fast charging on the dock. But it's not here yet. So what does it mean for these? How much can we actually get by with just 2 and get unlimited game time? Do we need all 3 that I got to pull that off when you're charging them through the top USB-C ports? That's gonna take a little testing, a little time, so we'll get back to you shortly. B100 battery packs. I've got so many now, it feels good to have a bunch of them again. I actually was up to like 6 of the old style ones. But let's talk about the differences real quick between the old and the new ones. Old one, 5,000 milliamp hours, technically 5,200, 143 grams. Now they've packed 10,000 milliamp hours in the new one with 2 5,000 cells, but managed to not double the weight at 186. It's still not super light, obviously, in comparison, but at least it didn't double. So I feel like that's kind of a win. One thing people have been saying about the whole S3 Pro strap though, is that it does seem heavy. It seems like you're adding a lot of weight to your headset. So let's see, gotta take off the additions here. We wanna get full, accurate, just weight. So 371 grams of that is just head strap weight. And there's a few little variables. On both these, I have honeycomb padding, at least on the bottom half of this one, and on the original M3, I've got it on the whole thing, 289. So there is a difference there, not quite 100 grams, but it is kind of obvious. I mean, you've got the fan in here, so like if you think about, well, what would a fan add if you just added the old fan? That right there is another 33 grams. You've also got the new digital readout screen, and honestly, the whole head strap, I said this before, it just feels more solid. Like, everything clicks into place instead of just being floppy and bendable. So weight is a factor to consider, but for me, when it comes to head straps, if it's balanced, I don't really care if it's adding more weight because it makes the whole thing more comfortable. Just as we've seen where when you try to rock like the Quest 3 stock head strap, that weighs like nothing, but it's so uncomfortable and horrible that it feels like your head gets tired really fast. Other big differences, of course, with the old M3, if you weren't a fan of the top knobbies, you do now have the ability to just take them off. You don't have to keep them, and they're adjustable too, which is pretty cool. And then the way they now slide on, your Quest 3 can get much closer to your eyes, much more comfortable with this one, in my opinion, because the old one was converted over, and you can see how much further this tab stuck out to make it to where you couldn't slide the lenses quite as close to your eyes. So it was a big improvement, at least in my opinion, but a second battery is definitely, in my mind, completely worth it, necessary, ideal, whatever you want to call it. Third is a luxury, probably not totally necessary, although if you're like me and when you get the dock, you want it to look full. It's a weird issue, but it is something that I think about. There's not really cons to go over. It's the same battery you've already got. Now you've got a second one. I guess thinking about paying another $40 could be considered, you know, a bit of a price to think about. But there is still, right now they're technically in pre-order, so there is still a 5% discount, which I'll leave a link in that code down below if you still were on the fence about getting a second one. I'm very happy to have a second one because it means until I get the dock, one can just be plugged in and always charged and ready to go. And especially for me, I'm not the best about when I finish my session thinking about, oh, I should take my battery off and go charge it. So more often than not, what happens for me, I grab my headset, the battery on here has whatever, I pull the one off the charger and then I just leave the other one on the charger all the time. So it kind of takes away the need to ever charge your headset again because the battery is always ready to go. In our testing, even in mixed reality intensely with the fan fully on, you get 3 hours of battery time. And the biggest thing about this battery versus so many straps is it not only maintains the battery, it actually continues to charge it depending on what percentage you start at. So if your Quest is at 100%, it'll hold 99% for the whole 3 hours. If your Quest is at like 20%, you'll end up over 40% by the time the battery's done. So you're actively charging it in use. Where other straps, you know, especially ones brought forward from the Quest 2, like the Kiwi, I found like it lost some battery, although it extended the time a lot, it continued to lose a little bit of battery. So this, with just 2 batteries, actually unlocks unlimited playtime. Now, there's not a lot of you out there that probably are gonna go, oh, I wanna go 3 hours on this battery, swap 3 hours on another battery, swap back. But what it does is, for me, it means that I always have a battery ready on a charger somewhere. Even if my headset's dead, when I walk up to it, I can swap it. But it also means I never lose the fan. Now, not everybody may love the fan as much as I do, but I really appreciate that little bit of airflow keeping you cool and comfortable. And it kind of sucked when I found out, oh, my battery's only got 20%. My headset's full and I'd play a game and then the battery would die. Well, now my fan's dead. It means no matter what, I always have the fan, but it also means if I pull this thing off, the battery acts as a counterweight so that when you're using the headset, it feels less front heavy when you have a battery on there because that weight kind of balances it and pulls that weight back. So now for me, I don't have to pull it off and be like, oh, now I'm a little less comfortable. It's dragging down on the front of my face a little bit more. I also always have my counterweight ready, which is just a nice feeling. It feels like now with this setup, we're back to what we were used to with the Quest 2, having multiple BoboVR batteries, able to hot swap, able to have unlimited battery life. The second battery really unlocks that potential here. So, but right now that does mean if you're buying a strap, you're buying a battery, there are the few little discounts that are gonna make it a little cheaper, but the prices are adding up. Down the road, there will probably be bundles. Once we start to see these actually hit Amazon, there might be some options, but right now there just isn't. At least that discount makes it a little bit more affordable, but that is another thing to think about. So ultimately right now, we've got the S3 Pro in and loving it. We've now finally got the B100s. The charge dock should be here soon. We'll be fully testing that. I've got enough batteries now to completely test it. And I even ordered, well, I don't know where it is right now, but I got an Anker 100-watt charging brick so that we can fully unlock the potential, because you do need to have a high-powered charging brick to unlock the potential of the dock. And then we are also getting the conversion kit, so we will be fully testing the M3 conversion that lets you start using these batteries instead of the old batteries on the old head straps. And that's basically through just swapping out this thing right here. So for all the M3 owners who still have their M3, they don't want to switch up their whole strap, you'll be able to switch that up. Of course, it does mean you're not going to get a conversion for the fan or the digital screen, but it means your battery's gonna do what you need it to do. So things are coming along. I'm excited about having these, but let me know, what are you thinking in the comments right now? I know there's other head straps people own out there and you're wanting to see more reviews on those, so I will keep working on those for you. But for me personally, my love of Halo straps, this is my full-time strap. This is what I want. I even want to get a second one to then have my other Quest 3, which is not on the table. I keep pointing to my Quest 2. But I want to get another one for my other one, because then what I want to test for you too is how many batteries in one dock does it take to keep them both running forever. But I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Where are you at on all this? Have you ordered it? Have you gotten yours? Are you as in love with it as I am? Let me know down below. Thank you once again for coming out, and I'll see you in another reality.